Welcome to the Shoreline, brought to you by Shores and Islands, Ohio, where finding your Lake Erie love is a sure thing. Thank you for joining us. I am your host, Jill Bauer, PR Manager for Shores and Islands, Ohio, and we bring you the Shoreline every week to give you the inside scoop on what's happening here in our island and coastal communities. Welcome, month of April. April is finally here. I'm so happy to finally see a warming trend weather-wise. The ferries are running and the islands are coming alive again after a quiet winter. There has been so much activity about with projects that have just been waiting for the weather to clear. And speaking of projects, just a couple of weeks ago, we announced our 4th year of destination development grants and the amazing projects that will receive funding for this year. You may recall my interview with our Destination Engagement Director, Amanda Smith-Rasnick, just a few weeks back, where we discussed that program. And we have just awarded more than $500,000 in grant funds to 30 organizations in Erie and Ottawa counties. I can't wait to see those projects come to fruition and share with all of you some fun new things that are coming online in 2025. And by the way, our special guest today just happens to be a grant recipient, so I'm sure they will share with us what they are planning to do with their funds. But before we get to that, a quick reminder that you can always find out about all things happening throughout the region on our website, shoresandislands.com. Last week, Jen and I shared some of our favorite upcoming April events. If you missed that, of course, you can go back and listen, but you can also always follow along on our social media platforms because Megan is there sharing all kinds of cool stuff. And one more shameless plug for our website. Spring is a great time to check out our 9 webcams. And Little Birdie told me there might be more coming soon, so keep an eye out for that. You can enjoy a live view of beautiful Lake Erie from a number of different locations, no matter where you are in the world. So if you're stuck at the office, dreaming of a lake day, pop on over to shoresandislands.com and see in real time what's going on here in Sandusky, in Vermilion, in Port Clinton, and even live from the islands. Okay, guys, so let's get to the topic at hand today. On today's episode, we have 2 very special guests, the proprietors of the Victorian Inn, a bed and breakfast located in Marblehead, Ohio. Shelley and Jeff Morgan just took ownership of the inn last March, and they have already done extensive renovations and have some amazing future plans. The Morgans hail from Columbus, Ohio, and are the epitome of what we always say about visitors. Come visit us, and you'll want to stay for a lifetime. Shores and Islands, Ohio is a great place to live, work, and play. According to Shelley, a little more than 10 years ago, they discovered the area while they were here boating. They fell in love with the region, sold their home in Columbus, and moved up here into a cozy cottage, which they have since completely rebuilt. Jeff's background is in IT and banking, plus some construction and renovation work, and Shelley's background is in real estate, plus marketing and sales for a custom home builder. Now they are both also innkeepers, and they say that together they have created a space at the Victorian Inn where guests can unwind, make lasting memories, and enjoy the best of Lake Erie. So welcome to the program, Shelley and Jeff.
Well, thank you so much.
So happy to have both of you here. Let's just start with the very basics for our listeners. Where is the Victorian Inn located, and how long has it been a bed and breakfast?
So it's been a bed and breakfast for 30 years. Ann Dewey was the proud owner prior to us, and she did a wonderful job handing it off to us, and we appreciate her so much. We're located on 163, pretty much right there on 269 at 5622 East Harbor Road. Yeah, it's been a whirlwind. We're loving it.
Oh, I'm so glad. That sounds like a really fun project. Do you know kind of the history of the home itself?
I do know that this house sat on a lot of acreage going all the way back to the East Harbor State Park.
Wow. So it was probably an old farmhouse.
Uh-huh.
So you guys, you've kind of become owners pretty recently, just within the last year, but you've already made many updates to the guest rooms. So first, tell me how many rooms you offer at the inn, and then talk about some of those updates that you've made, how those changes enhance both the comfort and the historic charm of the inn.
We have 9 rooms, including one of those rooms is a suite, so it has 2 actual bedrooms in it, separated by a living room and its own kitchen. So it's great for families that want to come stay, or, a couple of couples
Cool.
that want to just share space. It makes a really nice space that way. It is one of our two
That's
pet-friendly
nice.
spaces as well. We have two rooms that you can bring pets into. The inn has morphed over the years. There were, it was original building, and then there was some added on. I know that Ann had talked to us about the fact that there were cement trucks buried in the backyard at one point and everything, but all that is completely gone.
What kind of renovations have you done to the property since you've been in charge?
Yeah, most of that's been Shelley, and she has basically just gone through every room, found some very interesting furniture and headboards and beds. We've replaced almost all the mattresses in the place. The decorating that Shelley has done is just amazing. And one of the things our customers always talk about is how soft and comfortable the bedding is, and the big fluffy towels. So those are things that we've really focused on. We just recently had the whole dining area painted. It was like a 1970s paneling in there, pretty dark, and now it's a bright space for everyone. So, and then just, a little mechanical maintenance things that you would normally have to do, but we didn't have to do big major projects like put in bathrooms or anything like that.
Well, and you mentioned bathrooms specifically. It might be good for people to know that each room has its own in-suite bathroom, correct?
Correct. Every single room.
That's awesome. And you talked about the dining room that you upgraded. How many folks can you hold in your dining area?
We can seat a total of 30 people in our formal dining room.
Okay, great. And so since you are a bed and breakfast, let's talk about those delicious breakfasts. Who's the cook?
So Jeff and I have so much fun doing breakfast, and we've signed up to do that every third weekend. And we have a wonderful cook that comes in the other 2 weekends.
Oh, fun. So you kind of split up those duties. What kind of things are you guys making? What are you serving to your guests?
So on Saturday mornings, we always do French toast with fruit topping, with powdered sugar, with sausage links, orange slice. And then on Sunday mornings, we do scrambled eggs. And if we have someone that would rather have sunny side up eggs, we'll take care of that for them. Along with sausage links, we do a little bit of cottage cheese with a tomato slice and hash browns.
So do you have a set breakfast time, or is it up to the individual guests to request what time they want breakfast?
So we allow them to come anytime between 8:30 and 9:30 for breakfast.
Okay, well, that's pretty typical. So who would you guys say is the typical guest of the Victorian Inn, and why do you think guests are drawn to your facility?
One of the things that, typically people would think about a bed and breakfast is, it's a place where you go to feel like you're at grandma's house and that kind of thing. And we're really trying to give the Victorian Inn a little bit different image. But we've had guests, from very young folks, all the way up to senior folks in the community and the surrounding areas. We've had fishermen come through. That some of the fishing lodging in the area is just geared towards, getting in and out, but we provide a little bit more comfort in our end. So we've actually had a fishing group of 6 guys that have been coming before our previous owner even had it. So they've been coming over 33 years to come up and fish. So it's really nice to have guests that want to reoccur and continue to come. We've had a couple of couples that came and liked it so much that every time they come back, they bring more people. And this last weekend, they pretty much filled the entire inn. So, we really look for, a nice vibe where people can come, relax, and enjoy it. We know this is a vacation area.
Well, and it sounds like you mentioned some groups, some, like the 6 fishermen that come together every year. Is the entire inn available for rent if somebody wanted to have like a big family reunion or something like that?
Yes, it is. And we actually have 6 or 7 different groups that have rented the house for family reunions and weddings between now through the end of June.
What is the total occupancy?
29.
Oh, wow. That's a pretty big group.
Our June is pretty much full of just whole house rentals on the weekends.
So, Jeff mentioned earlier the suite. I think that the information that you sent me said that it sleeps 8. So you could actually have a smaller family there if you were renting everything out individually. You could still put a family of 8, or as you mentioned, 2 couples or something like that. Do you want to talk a little bit about the Captain's Corner suite?
Yeah, that was the suite that Jeff touched on a little earlier that has the 2 bedrooms with the fully applianced kitchen and it has its own formal living room. That is one of the pet-friendly suites as well. Our inn is available for the entire house a full year in advance, where the individual rooms are available within 6 months. So we give those wedding parties and family reunions time to get that whole house reservation before we open up those rooms to the public.
Oh, that makes sense. So you also sent me ahead of time a list of some of the very extra, like special touches that guests can add when they make their reservations, which would really help enhance their stay. Can you talk about some of those features?
Yeah, and it makes me so happy when people purchase those because it says like in advance, like this is going to be my home away from home. So we will allow them to purchase in-room fresh flowers that we'll put in the room prior to their arrival. We have birthday celebrations, and really we can be custom. So I've had husbands that have called me and said, it's my wife's birthday. Can I get a charcuterie board? Can you get me a birthday cake and 3 balloons? And we'll say sure, and then come up with a price, and then we'll get it all taken care of for them. And in fact, we have a couple that are in their 80s that are coming 2 weekends from now, and they're celebrating their 3rd year anniversary.
Aw.
Yeah.
How cute is that?
And he's putting out the works for her. It's really sweet.
That is really special. So it sounds like you guys have already made a lot of positive changes to the property, but let's talk about some of the future plans. And I understand, and this might be part of the grant funds we talked about, but you're planning to build a even better wedding venue on site. Can you talk to us about the wedding venue project?
Yeah, and first of all, we just really like to thank the partnership with Shores and Islands. It's really helped us to get to a place where we can start to do weddings out of the back in a much quicker space than we might have gotten there alone. So we appreciate that very much. So we're going to be creating an area where we can host weddings. We're going to have a nice pergola built where we can decorate it with, flowy white linen and things like that. So we can have a spot for folks to stand under it and get married. We're going to build an additional patio underneath our wooden deck where we can put a number of chairs and host either wedding dinners or rehearsal dinners or things like that. The property will have a nice pebble walkway out to the pergola so we can have a bride, walk down the aisle there, if you will, to the wedding area, and we'll have a number of white chairs out in the yard for guests. We have the ability to put up large wedding tents as well in the backyard. There's plenty of space for all that. So we're going to begin with that, and that's what we're using the funds from the grant this year. And then our ultimate goal would be to build a building in the back that would be a reception hall where we could do indoor weddings as well, and then we'll have a number of garage doors, like glass garage doors you can roll up so the outside can be inside and the inside can be outside, and it just kind of flows that way. So that's our ultimate goal. We know there aren't a lot of places in the area that can host things like that, and certainly we don't need to be confined to weddings, birthday parties or whatever you might want to do. We're open to that. We've, like Shelley mentioned earlier, we have a lot of family reunions scheduled. And
well, let's talk about just like in the immediate future, if somebody is looking to have an event this summer or this fall, how many people, like how many guests do you think that you could hold in your, upcoming wedding space?
We'll be limited to about 50.
Okay, so small, intimate weddings, but it sounds like maybe they can even use the house as well. You've got the dining room in there. You could have the rehearsal dinner or things like that, right?
It's a very unique space, and there's a lot of uses for that.
And what a nice place for the wedding party to get ready as well. Do you guys have any other future plans that you want to talk about? I mean, that doesn't necessarily be anything that is 100% to fruition, but just kind of what are your hopes and dreams for the property?
So I do have something up my sleeve. So, we bounce ideas off of each other, and most of them are my ideas, and some are no's and some are yeses from Jeff.
Somebody can dream all the things, but somebody's got to actually build it as well. So,
I would really like to use the space more in terms of the formal dining room and formal living room between like the hours of 12 and 4 between check-in and check-out. And I had this amazing idea of doing high tea parties.
Oh,
Or afternoon tea parties where people can make reservations, and I can limit those to, 25 or 30 individuals. And, maybe I'll start that, on the first Thursday of the month or something and see how the community likes that, because I do get a lot of people that just want to come in and spend time at the inn. They want
right.
to look around. A lot of people haven't been in here, and we do get a lot of overflow from people that live here, locals that live here, and their families that are 2 to 4 hours away or coming to visit them, and they don't necessarily have that extra space in their home.
Mm-hmm.
So they'll have them book rooms here. So a lot of those people want to come in, which is one of the reasons why we added this summer a bring a guest to breakfast. So for $25 for those people that are staying overnight, they can bring mom and dad into the inn and have breakfast with them. That's one thing that we've already added. And then the tea parties, maybe they'll come after we do the pergola and the wedding edition out back. So maybe look for that in the fall.
Well, I think that sounds like a fantastic idea, Shelley. I think that's something that we get asked about. People are looking for things like that. And that would also make a fun bridal shower or baby shower or, something like that where you get to do something a little bit extra in a beautiful old Victorian home. And like you said, get people that maybe aren't here to spend the night, but still get to enjoy your facility. I love that. I love the creative ideas. I hope that it happens for you. I also want to bring it back just to the accommodations and the overnight stays. I don't remember which one of you mentioned it, but somebody mentioned that you have pet-friendly accommodations. So we have a lot of people that visit the area with their furry family. So tell me a little bit about being able to stay with you with a pet. What are the accommodations for those? Like is there a size limit or anything like that? And what made you guys want to be pet friendly?
I am pet friendly. When Jeff and I met, I had two dogs. I had an English Cocker Spaniel and an American Cocker Spaniel. So I'm dog friendly. He is as well. And we know that so many people that are boating here and coming to visit the area have their pets as well. So we've made basically the 2 rooms that are closest to the front entrance of the home, so we can keep that separate from the formal living room and dining room where people are eating. So the suite, Captain's Corner Suite or room 9, that's the 2-bedroom suite with the living room, dining room, will allow 2 pets in there. 90 pounds is our limit. And then right across the hallway from that is room 8, or Birdsong Bliss, because we've named all the rooms. Sweet. It's a single queen room, and we'll allow 1 pet in there for 90 pounds. We give them toys. We have doggy beds. We have treats. And then this spring we added dog sitting services. So we get a lot of people that will come up here with their pet, and they'll take the ferry over to Put-in-Bay or Kelly's for the day. And maybe they'll be over there for 8 or 10 hours, and they'll want their furry friend to have a little potty break. So I have a gal that will come over, grab the dog, spend some time with them, take them out for a walk, and it's just a small fee for that.
That is really nice. We actually get that question a lot as well. Sometimes there are some restaurants and things like that in the area maybe that aren't pet friendly. And so is it okay to leave the pet at the property while they're gone? So it's nice to hear that you make accommodations for that.
It is. And we had a lot of pet stays last year, and we had not one complaint about dogs being left at the house, barking or anything. Everything's been great.
Yeah, I think people know, they know their pets. They know whether they can travel with them or not. So, those that are there are probably those that are seasoned travelers, and the dog's probably just going to sleep all day anyway.
Pretty much.
Is there anything else that either of you wanted to share with our listeners?
I was just going to say that when we embarked on this adventure, I was wrong. Shelley was right.
That was recorded, right, Jeff?
I love it when he says that.
But I kind of felt like, well, we should just open this up as an Airbnb type of thing, not do the bed and breakfast. But I'll tell you what, I am so happy that we are doing the bed and breakfast. That's some of my best times that I spend on the property, is just talking to guests, meeting with them, hearing everybody's story, giving them suggestions on what to do and where to go in the area. You don't realize how much you know about the area until you start telling other people about it. And I think you mentioned Lake Erie love earlier, and I just have that thoroughly. So does Shelley. In our bones. So, we really have enjoyed this endeavor so far, and we'll look forward to all that it has to bring.
Oh my gosh, you said it better than I could have.
Aw.
We just have really appreciated becoming a bigger part of the community, and people have been so supportive of us and the inn. And it's truly a blessing, and we really enjoy and love this area so much. And we really enjoy sharing our happy place with guests that come stay with us.
So my question is, do you still have the boat?
Oh, yeah. That's never going anywhere.
Where are your favorite places to go boating when you go out?
Kelly's Island is our favorite. We're members of the Unique Marker Yacht Club over there, and that's been our happy place for many, many years. But you got to have some put-in-bay action in there as well, so...
Oh, good. Well, I'm really happy to hear that. And I'm glad that your boat brought you to, this world of hospitality and being innkeepers. It sounds like you guys are doing a great job, and continued success for the future. How can people find more information on the Victorian Inn, and how do they make reservations?
They can hop on our website. It's victorianinnbb.com. They can give us a call. 419-734-5611 is our main number here. And then they can always email us at stay@victorianinnbb.com as well. We welcome everyone.
And that would be the same for planning a big event. Like if somebody wanted to do a wedding, just give you a call and get more information that way.
Absolutely.
All right, great. Well, thank you guys both. This has been amazing. Thank you both for joining us.
We thank you so much.
Of course. Special thanks to Shelley and Jeff Morgan from the Victorian Inn in Marblehead for joining us today. And thank you for listening. If you enjoyed this podcast, please be sure to like and subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts so you don't miss a minute of the action here in Shores and Islands, Ohio. You can also find more information, including past episodes of the podcast, online at shoresandislands.com. And we will see you next time on The Shoreline.